Expectations were high when the son of 1982 Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg hit the grid back in 2006. Driving for Williams on his debut, Nico Rosberg had it all to prove, and the first lap looked as though the young German would succumb to the pressure. A nasty incident with Sauber's Nick Heidfeld left him with a lot of work to do, dead last and over a minute behind the race leader.
I think it was Rosberg tapping the back of Heidfeld, so Rosberg lost his wing and Heidfeld spun.
A baptism of fire, literally, for Rosberg.
But over the next 56 laps, Nico proved that he had strength and determination by the bucket load.
You've got 7 seconds to cool-tard, and that is P8. 7 seconds to cool-tard, push hard, you're catching about over a second a lap.
He kept his focus and was soon the fastest man on the circuit.
And Rosberg, on his debut, gets himself up into the points.
What a brilliant performance from young Rosberg, no doubt about it.
Pushing right to the end, Rosberg stole 7th place on the final lap. Roaring through the field, he showed an assuredness that belied his inexperience. 2 points in your first outing is impressive, but snatching fastest lap of the race is icing on the cake.
Here is Nico Rosberg, and he has had a heroic drive today.
It's not only the moments of triumph that define a true champion, it's also how they get back on their feet after being defeated. Proof of that was Nico Rosberg's end of the 2015 season. Despite a season-long fight with his teammate Lewis Hamilton, the Brit was crowned champion at the US Grand Prix with 3 races still to go. However, the German driver's spirit not only wasn't crushed, it boosted him to go on and win all of the last 3 races.
Nico Rosberg wins the Mexican Grand Prix!
¿Qué tal hoy, México?
Rosberg has controlled the race from start to finish. It is 3 in a row for Nico. He ends the season on a high.
Oh, awesome, guys. Thanks for the end of the season. It was really great.
He would carry on this winning streak into 2016, a season he started with 4 consecutive victories and finished this time round with the World Championship crown on his head. Few things in racing require as much nerve and absolute focus as performing a perfect start. Nico Rosberg provided us with a prime example back in 2009 at the Sepang International Circuit. Having qualified in 6th place, he was promoted to 4th after grid penalties were applied to Sebastian Vettel and Rubens Barrichello. Now in 4th place, he certainly made the most of it, taking the lead of the race by turn 1.
Coming through also is Nico Rosberg making a storming start. Rosberg's absolutely charging through.
5 lights going on now, and then the lights go off. Quick reaction, really fast, and then really you just have to adapt. Yeah, you have to take the situation as it comes, and I just got a super start, so I just went by everybody, and that's it. I couldn't see anybody anymore. Just Jensen, who tried to have a go at me into turn 1, but I just defended well and got around there first, and that's it. I was leading the race there, and it's quite a nice feeling, to be honest.
His first 2 seasons in Formula One weren't the easiest. Compromised by reliability issues and lack of performance, he still managed a 4th position finish at the 2007 season finale in Brazil. His podium hopes, however, didn't have to wait much longer. Rosberg would taste his first Formula One champagne just a few months later, at the very first race of the 2008 season. The German lined up on Albert Park's grid in 7th place. Jumping BMW's Nick Heidfeld at the start, Rosberg drove a calm and assured race in what was a chaotic opening round of the championship.
And it's going Australia! Kovalainen, I think, and Massa were very close to each other. Contact further back as well.
Just the merest tag for the looks of it, and it's all going off behind.
4th is Rosberg. Terrific for him. What a great platform for him to do something here this afternoon.
Coming across the line in 3rd place was a fantastic way to mark 30 years of the Williams team in Formula One, and a great start to the season.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much.
It's amazing to be on the podium in F1. It's just great, and it's been a while also, nearly 3 years or something. So it's just really, really nice.
Williams would eventually finish the championship down in 8th place, but Nico's season-opening podium and a shock 2nd place in Singapore later in the year were highlights in what was otherwise a disappointing year. The 2012 Chinese Grand Prix was a milestone in Formula One for a multitude of reasons. Rosberg took the first pole position of his career, out-qualifying 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher by half a second. Storming away at lights out, Nico controlled the race, managing his tyres and keeping out of trouble.
Rosberg gets a great start. Schumacher left trailing in his wake.
His Mercedes was flying, allowing him to pull out a gap on the rest of the field, and his victory never really looked in doubt. A wheel gun malfunction for Jenson Button took his main rival out of the running and left Nico free to breeze to the finish line.
Yes! Come on!
111 race starts since debut. The German took the checkered flag in what was Mercedes' first win since 1955.
Very, very cool. Very happy, very excited. And no, it's been a long time coming for me and for the team also.
Pole position in Monte Carlo is where every driver wants to be. Back in 2013, it was Mercedes who set the standard, with Rosberg notching up his 3rd consecutive pole position that season. He led away from the lights and built up an impressive lead over teammate Lewis Hamilton.
They're almost wheel to wheel, the two Mercedes, but it's Nico Rosberg out in front.
In a race that saw 2 safety cars and a red flag, nothing could distract Rosberg from a flawless drive. Defending well from Sebastian Vettel at the restart, Nico would go on to take a dominant victory exactly 30 years after his father Keke had taken top honours at the Principality.
Can't believe it. Thank you so much. The car was really awesome today. This is really special for me.
Fastest in every single session, it was a special weekend for the German, and one that demonstrated his innate feel for the streets on which he'd grown up and calls home.
Grown up here all my life, lived here, gone to school here, and so now to win at home it's very special, and I'm just ecstatic.
Nico's impressive performance in 2013 was followed up with another victory the following year, and he came into the 2015 Monaco Grand Prix as the clear favourite. Pipped to pole position by Lewis Hamilton, Nico spent much of the race tucked in behind his teammate, until a massive accident between Max Verstappen and Romain Grosjean changed the face of the race.
And Verstappen goes straight into the barrier at Sandevot.
You okay, Max? I'm okay.
For the first time ever in Formula One, the virtual safety car was deployed, whilst the debris from Verstappen's massive impact with the barriers was cleared up. Amid the confusion, Mercedes made a pit stop misjudgment, which saw Hamilton pit for fresh tyres, only for him to re-emerge on track in 3rd position.
What's happened, guys?
Okay, Lewis, so we got caught behind.
I've lost this race, haven't I?
With just 8 laps to go, racing resumed. Nico pulled away from the field to win by a comfortable margin and take his 3rd successive Monaco Grand Prix victory.
Woohoo! Yes!
Joining an exclusive club with Graham Hill, Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna, the only 4 men to have ever achieved the feat. Rosberg's utterly dominant weekend at the 2016 Singapore Grand Prix really gave the impression that he was a man on a mission. A weekend of pure self-belief from a racer who knew he could win a championship. He made his intentions abundantly clear by qualifying on pole position a whopping 0.7 seconds faster than teammate Lewis Hamilton. The German led away from the line as chaos ensued behind him.
He's got tagged and Hulkenberg out of the race. Rosberg leads into the first corner.
Rosberg kept a cool head and maintained his lead, and even fended off the flying Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, who had been called in for fresh super soft tyres.
At the current pace, you will catch him with 4 laps to go.
With Rosberg on heavily degraded tyres and marginal brakes, the Australian was bearing down on him. In a thrilling finish, the German absorbed all of the intense pressure to cross the line in first place. It was one of the best race weekends of his career.
Brilliant drive. Yes, come on guys! Come on!
The 2016 title battle between Rosberg and Hamilton intensified as the season developed. Nico took pole at the legendary Suzuka circuit by just a tenth of a second, his 30th and last pole position for the Silver Arrows. On race day, he rocketed into turn 1 and never looked back, leaving title challenger Hamilton tumbling down the order to 8th.
Hamilton's had a really bad start as Rosberg heads into the S's and away into the lead.
A superb Sunday drive delivered him his first Japanese Grand Prix victory, along with his 23rd and final Formula One win. In doing so, he helped clinch the 2016 Formula One Constructors' Championship for Mercedes for a third year in succession, and, crucially, increased his championship lead over Hamilton to 33 points, with just 4 races to go. The final race of the 2016 season will go down as one of the most tense and drama-filled races in F1 history. The championship battle had come all the way to the final round, and it was Mercedes man versus Mercedes man. Rosberg went into the race with a 12-point lead over Hamilton, but it was Hamilton who struck the first blow and would start in pole position. To win the championship, Nico would have to finish on the podium.
That's not thoughts that I want to go into, because they're not going to make me faster this weekend. To think about what, if, when, where. No, stay right here. Go for the performance.
He needed to keep mistakes to a minimum and stay out of trouble. Running comfortably in second, the race took a turn when he was held in his box during a pit stop to allow the Ferrari to pass in the pit lane. Crucially, this allowed Verstappen to get the jump on the German, and with the advancing Sebastian Vettel just behind, this put him at risk of not making the podium. To ensure he won the title, he had to get back past the Dutchman, a risky move, battling with the feisty youngster. The smallest mistake, and his dreams of the crown would all be over.
So they're purposely making Verstappen slow, so you need to get past him.
But he held it together with this heart-stopping overtake.
He's going for it now from a long way back. Verstappen on the outside, Rosberg on the inside. They come close, but they don't quite touch. Verstappen now under pressure again. That's a brilliant exit from Nico Rosberg. And as they swoop round that left-hand king, Rosberg puts himself up into second place.
With 10 laps to go, Lewis backed the field up, pushing Nico into the pursuing pack.
Lewis, this is Paddy. We need you to pick up the pace to win this race. That's an instruction.
Right now, I'm losing the World Championship, so I'm not really bothered if I win or lose this race.
Under the immense and sustained pressure, Rosberg didn't put a foot wrong, even fending off a penultimate lap lunge from Sebastian Vettel. His decisive and well-executed defence took the championship down to the last corner of the last lap. Rosberg crossed the line to achieve his lifelong dream, and he did it with a superb drive to second under unbearable pressure in Abu Dhabi.
Yes! World champion! Brilliant!
Nico, you are world champion.
Moki, amazing job! I'm so proud of you! You did amazing! Woohoo!
With 23 wins and a world title in his pocket, Rosberg retired. Job done.